What's that special something that you bring?
Yeah.
You know, not what everyone else brings, but what that you bring. And you can only do that by being authentic.
Thank you for joining me. So let's start with who you are.
Who am I? Oh, that's the big question, isn't it? Who am I? No, I'm Liz Soames, DJ and producer based in Seattle, Washington. I guess that's who I am.
Yeah. So when did your passion for music really start? When did you like start falling in love with different music and sounds and wanted to become a DJ?
Oh, that's a two-part question. So my passion for music actually started, I think I was 5 years old, and I got my first record player. I got a 45 of the Beatles, and it was the Hey Jude 45 with Revolution on the other side. And I played Revolution over and over and over again, like, I don't know, at least 100 times until my mom came in and broke it. And that literally started my love with music. It was always an escape for me, a way to express myself. From there forward, I've always had a relationship with music, starting in the clubs. Gosh, I think I was 15 when I started going into the clubs with the fake ID, and always in them, always dancing. And back then you didn't see the DJ, right? So I mean, the DJ was hidden in a back room somewhere. So it was all about the experience and dancing and I didn't get into DJing until 2018. And that was at the kind of the prodding of a friend. I was a radio broadcaster, and he asked if I had DJ'd before, if I had live mixed before. And I said, no, I never did that. So he showed me what to do. And the moment literally I put two tracks together, it was such a profound moment of freedom and realizing that I could create art through music, right? And that self-expression, and express myself in a way that I've never been able to express myself. So yeah, it just kind of took off from there, and I've been head first into it.
Electronic dance music. What is your favorite genre?
Techno. It is. With house, the deeper side of house being a close second, and both for, I guess, the same reason. You know, it's there's something about the sound design, and especially with techno, there's no rule.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any rules in techno, right? I mean, it doesn't follow. It shouldn't. Good techno, in my mind, doesn't follow a structure. It's on the you know, the heels of Jeff Mills, right? It was about self-expression and creating something new, creating something we've never heard before. You know, there's no, you know, set arrangement, you know, got to have a breakdown here and blah blah blah, right? Techno is techno. I mean, it just is, and you can get so lost in the sound. And then of course house, well, that's just feel good music. So
so let's talk a little bit about techno, because a lot of people, you know, techno is like more of an underground kind of music, and lots of people don't really get techno. Do you think people like it because it's untranslatable, like everyone can translate it as they want? Or what is it about techno that makes it so unique?
That's a good question. I think as we know, there's different types of techno, right? So we've got the commercial side of techno that's all over TikTok and Instagram, and that's what a lot of people are being fed right now. But I see that as kind of a gateway to some of the more underground sounds and the underground techno. Yeah, and I think once people find that, there's no turning back for one. But I think you kind of hit hit the nail on the head there. There's, you can't really define it. You can't, you can't, I think define is the word. You can't really define techno. It's a feeling. It's a place where you can just kind of, you recognize it, but you don't recognize it, but it just makes you move. And right. And it's, you know, the business side of techno, you know, the stuff, a lot of the stuff that we're hearing nowadays, I mean, that, you know, it's commercial. Yeah, the underground stuff is just so, a lot of it's obscure and it's beautiful and it's raw and it's gritty and it's minimal, but it's hard. It's
unpredictable.
It's completely unpredictable. And that's how techno should be. Try to find those gems, right, that are, you just, you're like, whoa, what was that? Yeah.
That's really cool. That's the way it should be, you know. As a DJ, your job is like to introduce people to new music, things that they don't think that they will like or don't know that they will like, but they just go for it. I have a question about the algorithm, because I've seen you posting a picture about like do it for the art and the music and not the algorithm. So how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that it's affecting the music scene in a negative way?
Yeah, I do. I like that people are being introduced to electronic dance music through social media. I don't like that social media is depicting what electronic dance music should be. And I feel a lot of times, you know, we get so caught up in, you know, especially now with social media, you know, everyone's concerned about, you know, how many clicks am I getting? How many likes am I getting? You know, and all this stuff. And they're creating content just to create content. But is it really about that? You know, are we doing it for, what are we doing this for? And that's a big question that I've asked myself honestly over the last year. And that's why I posted that. And if you notice, my whole Instagram is wiped clean. I deleted everything. I
was trying to stalk you, but I was like, what happened to me?
Well, and I did it on purpose to make a statement. And it's like, it's not about the awards. It's not about all this stuff, right? I really dug deep and had to really reassess, why am I doing this? And it's for the music, period. End of story. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm doing it. And if people happen to like what I'm doing, great. I love it. Come along. I'll take you on a journey. Right? So and I definitely don't want to create content for clicks and likes. It's a never-ending game, and that's a full-time job in and of itself.
But that's the way it should be.
Come from, again, I think like a lot of people, you know, a lot of DJs that are older, I come from a different era of music where we didn't have social media. It was about the poster being put up on, you know, on the signpost or on the wall, and that's how you found out about it. And, you know, there was a party going on that you found out from your friends. Raves were were kept very private, you know. I mean, it's literally phone calls. What's the address, right? You know, I remember going to raves in Japan, and it's like, I mean, it was down some dark alley, and I was like, oh gosh, where am I going, you know? And, you know, but you walk in and all of a sudden you find home, right? Find home. And now it's about the video. It's about the, you know, everyone is putting their best foot forward to try and get the algorithm to pick them up. And for every, you know, I don't want to say it's for the wrong reasons, but I do think that social media it's tainted the business aspect of it a bit, and it's made people, it's not about the music. It's about, hey, I've got 137,000 followers, you should book me, right? And that's what a lot of people are looking at, right? You know, it's promoters and stuff, you know, do they have a following? Can they sell tickets? I mean, at the end of the day, it's business.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like my post says, be a slave to the music, not the algorithm. And I don't want to be a slave to the algorithm. Yeah.
And I really respect that. And most of the time, you don't really put the failures on social media. And even if you do it like in a cheeky way, So it kind of loses the reality of it, It becomes all like fake somehow, and that's very sad.
I would agree with that. I think if I was to go into a full-blown social media campaign again, it would be about the late nights. It'd be about the digging for music. It'd be about sitting on my decks back here, making mistakes over and over and over again, trying to figure out what music's going with what. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
But what we see on social media is that, 5-second clip of, everybody screaming at a festival or something, but they don't, where's the hard work that goes into that? Because it's a lot of hard work. And if you're traveling, it's a lot of lonely nights on planes and everything else, and not eating right. And, it can be exhausting. But it's kind of glamorized on social media, right? And it's not necessarily the most glamorous job.
100%.
I mean, it's worth it. I mean, when you're there in front of the crowd for a couple hours, I mean, there's nothing like it, right? But they're not showing when they're playing the club that's only got 10 people in it either. They're showing the big events, right? Because I've played a lot of gigs where, it's a slow night, and you still have to
deliver.
You have to deliver, whether there's 5 people there or 5,000 people there. It doesn't matter. You still have to deliver.
But that's a part of the job, I guess. That's like you're saying, that's the real part of it, what people necessarily doesn't see, What was your worst experience at a nightclub?
My worst experience, oh my gosh.
As a DJ?
My first gig.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was at Jimmy Valentine's in Washington, D.C. And a friend booked me for it. Oh gosh. Everything that could go wrong at that gig went wrong. I mean, it's like, it was the perfect introduction to DJing, quite honestly. So I was working off a laptop. Laptop started going wonky. And then someone came up to the back of we were using one of the XDJ controllers with the screen in the middle, like one of those. Or no, it didn't. Yeah, it had the screen in the middle. And then somebody came up and turned the power off. Yeah. Somebody was drunk and came and turned the power off. And then my USB wasn't working. And I mean, it was like literally everything that could possibly go wrong. And honestly, I was surprised at myself with how much stride I took it in. It's like, I just had to laugh at the end of the night, right? I remember the bartender looking at me, and I just looked at him when they turned the power off, and I'm like, and I just went like, can you please turn the power back on?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. That's the one I would have to say was the worst.
But again, these kind of situations, they build character, I guess, for a DJ.
It happens. I mean, it's like, again, not everything is what you see on social media. I mean, of course they're not going to put the video on there of the drunk guy coming up and turning off the CDJ or something, right? So yeah, I mean, it happens. Or the power going out, whatever. There's a zillion things that can go wrong. The decks go into emergency loop, right? They're not going to put the video of that. I had that happen not too long ago. I was like, are you kidding? We actually had one of the CDJs, this was recent, the CDJ just stopped reading all my music. And so the other one goes into emergency loop. So we had to completely reboot the CDJ.
Was it the 3000?
It was the 2000 Nexus 2. Yeah, it just decided it didn't want to work anymore. And again, that's not the stuff they're showing, but that's the fun stuff. I think that's the fun kind of side of it. That's where the stories are.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
Because when that kind of stuff happens, I mean, if you're vibing with the crowd, I don't think that they will take it in a bad way. They will be like cheering you up, and wanting more, waiting, giving you support, and it's fun when that happens. I mean, the most important thing is to stay in control of the situation and not to freak out, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. Freaking out is not an option. You can't
Yeah.
freak out and lose your head on something like that. Yeah. Cause I mean, the crowd gets it.
Yeah.
They're not going to boo you off the stage for something like that. I mean, they all know technology. It has its flaws. I mean, it happens. Now, of course, if you're train wrecking every track and you're clearing the dance floor, that's another issue.
That's another issue, yeah. That's a bad DJ.
That's not good DJing, yeah.
So how important is it for you to interact with the crowd? Like, what kind of DJ are you? Do you keep like eye contact? Do you wave your hands? Are you like do you move a lot in the DJ booth or?
I'm definitely not a hand raiser. I'm definitely focused on the music. I want to make, I'm just as much in the zone as the dance floor is. Yeah, I'm in the moment. But yes, absolutely looking up. I mean, I'm constantly checking the dance floor to make sure, because I'm not playing for me, I'm playing for them. And I want to make sure that what I'm doing, that they're enjoying it. And I love those moments because I'll get so in the zone. I'm kind of like digweed in that aspect, right? I just get in the zone and I'll look up and all of a sudden I'll make eye contact with someone on the dance floor and they'll smile, I'll smile. It's just that moment of connection, right? And you just know, and then I look around and like everybody's just vibing. I mean, and you can feel the energy. It's amazing. But yeah, I definitely like to connect with the crowd because I want to make sure they're having a good time and enjoying what I'm doing. So yeah, and I think they love it too. I mean, I'm not the hands in the air, that type of.
I do that sometimes. I won't lie,
Yeah, I mean, I'll dance. Definitely, I'm a dancing fool. I'll dance for sure. I'll dance with everybody. Yeah.
You're one of the Tong DJ Academy top 10 finalists for the Future Talent Awards 2023, and you are also the winner of the Abdul Hadi Special Award. I've seen a couple of clips, which I cannot find anymore. But,
they're on my YouTube.
Okay, I'll go there. So how was that? Like, let's start from like applying to the competition from the beginning. How did that feel and what was your process?
Oh, that's funny. So it was interesting because when I joined, I saw the contest, but I was like, I didn't really plan on joining.
Yeah.
And then I saw it again when it came closer time, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably put in a mix for that. I didn't like practice and all this stuff and like, oh, I'm gonna enter this contest. And then what was funny is like I forgot the date, and I saw an email come through, and they had extended the date. Yeah. And I had, and it was for that day. So I literally had, I had 5 hours to do my mix, record it right on video, do my interview, my interview, and then submit it.
Damn.
5 hours. Literally 5 hours. I actually, my boss, if my boss watches this, he's gonna kill me. I actually took the afternoon off because something was telling me this was like super important to do. And so I took the afternoon off, and everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Again.
The mix itself was interesting because literally I hopped as soon trying to get to where I could even mix though, trying to get the video set up and my apartment set up and all. I mean, it was like literally I couldn't get anything working right. And then finally it was like the last 3 hours, I was just like, forget it. And I got the video working. I hopped on the decks and just played. I mean, literally just played. I mean, I didn't even know what my opening track was going to be. It all came from here. And then I got done, made sure, you know, the audio was there, and then tried to upload it, and then I couldn't get it uploaded. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do like an interview.
I know.
Right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, and now let's do this.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I didn't even listen to the mix until after I won. And then of course, you were part of this, you got the emails, right? You had to get the images in and all that. And I was like, oh, wait, they want images? Oh, first it was the playlist, right? They wanted the playlist. And I was like, oh, it's interesting. So yeah, there was no planning to that whatsoever at all. Yeah,
So how did it felt when you received that email that you've won?
I cried.
You cried.
I cried.
Oh
I
my
cried.
God.
I cried like a baby. I did. I have put so much hard work into getting to where I am today. Late nights. I mean, I burn the candle at both ends. I work a full-time job. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning and I don't go to bed till midnight. Because as soon as I get off work at 2, I'm working on music, whether that's mixes or production. And so I put so much hard work into this. To be recognized in such a way was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was such an accomplishment, and one I never expected.
Yeah.
In a million years, never even expected to win.
Well deserved, I must say, and congratulations. You really deserve it. You know, I can feel your energy. We've had some contact, and I know that recently you've been going through some hard times as well. You know, and my deepest condolence. But you know, I can tell you this: you're in Seattle, Washington. I'm in Växjö, Sweden, and you're giving me the chills, and I feel really inspired by you. You know, and you really sending out those wonderful vibes. You know, you're a happy person, you make me happy, you're making me smile, so it feels awesome to talk to you, you know. And I'm pretty sure that this is just the beginning for you, Liz, but remember me, guest list all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm hoping this is just the beginning. I think last year was really kind of, after winning the award, it was a real wake-up call for me, and really defining who I am as an artist and as a human, really, as a person. Why am I doing this? You know, because I won't lie, I got kind of caught up in all of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like how I felt when I got caught up in all of it, because it took me away from the core reason why I'm doing this in the first place. And it was for self-expression, it was for communication, you know. It was away from it. To me, music and DJing and producing is the ultimate form of communication. You know, and to be able to help people forget their lives, you know, and all the problems that are going on for 7 minutes or 7 hours, depending on the set or the track, right? It's such a gift, and it's such an honor.
Absolutely.
So I made that's why I wiped my social media and stuff. It wasn't, you know, it was just for me to just say, hey, I need to get back to the roots of all this, and what I'm doing this for.
That's really good, really inspiring as well, you know, to me personally, and to anyone that watches us. You know, thanks to the Tong DJ Academy, now we have a community with a lot of people that are learning and becoming DJs, and you know, you are such a wonderful example of how things should be. And yeah, that is really cool. So let's talk about you and Sama, because I feel like you guys have like a real connection, and you share the same vibe, you play the same kind of music. How did that?
It's interesting. I haven't, obviously, with everything that's going on right now in the world, she and we connected briefly. She's got so much going on right now. You know, I'm not sure when we'll connect again. But yeah, she's a powerful force. And I think she and I, on a lot of levels, are doing it for the same reasons, right? It's just that ultimate form of communication, and to be able to take everything that's inside and just right? Like, and she had said it at one point too. It's like, she never knows, like, the set that she's doing today, because it's coming from here, is not going to be the same set tomorrow because it's coming from here. And I'm the same. So yeah, when we talked, it was just instant. I could have talked to her for hours. ours. And hopefully she and I will get to meet again, one day. I know she's going through a lot, and it'd be nice to just give her a big hug.
Yeah, let's hope that this happens soon,
I
DJ
hope
Academy
so.
Festival.
I know. That would be nice. Yeah, we there was some talks of us playing together, but then the world took over. I think it would be absolutely amazing. So
Yes.
yeah.
You've joined the Mixmag camp in Ibiza
I
production.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that? What did you learn from that?
Oh, in Ibiza, it was amazing. It was so nice to spend a week with other artists and producers that were there to just really dive into their music and there for a purpose, right? And get that one-on-one feedback, really, from bigger artists. It was kind of surreal. Plus, it was Ibiza. Yeah, I know, to be able to go to the studios and stuff like that. In fact, I was at the recording studio there, and we had Katie came in and she did some vocals, which actually released on a track that I did for a friend, which ended up being a big hit. It was a deep house track, yeah. So it was just the perfect setup. But yeah, the energy is nice to it's so nice to sit with people who are in it for the same reasons that you are, and being able to bounce ideas off of each other. It's one thing to sit in a silo in your own studio. It's another to actually be able to sit with other artists and have those conversations and talk about the stories, and then of course dive into the music and get that real
as human beings, real, like really get that connection and get that experience, and that feedback as well.
Absolutely.
Any music coming up from you soon? Can we expect new music soon?
Absolutely. I just finished up one track on the weekend. You've probably heard the snippet to my new track that I'm working on Instagram. Super excited for that one. So that should I'm hoping that'll be done this week. Actually, I don't know who I'm releasing it with yet. So and then have some possible big gigs coming up, so keep an eye out for that. And
we'll do for sure. Hopefully in Sweden. No,
I would love to. So you hear that, all the promoters in Sweden?
In Sweden. So cool. But if anywhere in Europe, maybe I will have the chance and the honor to come and say hi. Hopefully soon,
Oh, I would love that. I know. I need to get back. I want to come back so bad. I toured Spain last year and just absolutely loved it.
We don't have that much time left, but before we wrap things up, what kind of advice do you want to give upcoming DJs and producers?
Be a slave to the music and not the algorithm. Like, seriously, just be yourself. I know it's hard, but try not to compare yourself with other artists and DJs, and find your own voice. We're all unique. We all have a story to tell. We all have something in us that drives us to do this. And I would challenge any artist to find what that voice is, because I think that's what makes an artist stand out from other artists, right? Is to really do that digging and find out who you are and what's that special something that you bring. Not what everyone else brings, but what that you bring. And you can only do that by being authentic.
You cannot be someone else. You can just be yourself.
You can't, and we're not supposed to be, right? We're all created unique individuals, right? We all have our own thoughts and our own passions, and so find it, bring it to the table, and don't be afraid. You're gonna make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. The biggest artists in the world, they make mistakes all the time. So, and that's how we learn. Make lots of mistakes. Because that's how you...
100%. That is so true. Well, thank you so much for joining me, despite you having like a work day. I really appreciate it. And I'm really happy that I got the chance to talk to you in person. And hopefully we'll meet soon and we will have loads of fun. It will be just music and tracks and everything, like ideas. All over the place.
We're putting it out to the universe right now. It's out in the universe. It's going to happen.
Yes, Liz. Thank you. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you, Miso, and it's so wonderful seeing you. And yeah, let's make this happen. We'll see each other soon. I am
Yes.
just putting it out there. It will happen.